So Andrew Swift, it's very nice to speak to you. Thank you for chatting to ENT News, and congratulations on your elevation to the presidency of ENT UK. It's been a little while coming. There's been quite a lot has gone on over the last few years. Tell us about your promotion, as it were, and a little bit about the last few years and the ENT UK response to the pandemic.
Okay, well, it was a post that I'd never thought that I would ever do, and it came as a complete shock when I was successful in the vote. But having had a lot of experience with ENT UK over the years, it was almost like getting back into a very familiar vehicle in a driving seat as the president-elect. And I was like the deputy pilot. It was real fun, and it brought back lots of good memories, but also gave me an opportunity to use the things that I'd learned over the years when I was the honorary treasurer, and to start putting things into action. And probably the biggest thing that happened in the early days was when we had to appoint a new general manager. And I convinced the trustees that we should do this on a professional basis and go for a high quality manager that would be expensive, but it's money well invested. And that's how we got Julianne to come, and she greatly enhanced the whole setup of ENT UK and made it into a very highly professional organisation that ran very, very smoothly, and actually went from leaps and bounds to improve things.
I was going to say that the team has changed quite a lot over the last few years, and the whole structure and feel of ENT UK, most recently with the update of the website. What have been the biggest changes over the last few years, do you think?
The biggest changes have been in the professional team that we have behind us. The changes were instigated by Julianne and have been taken over by Katie Nurkham, and Katie joined us in January. And again, another absolutely fantastic manager who's got the support of all of the staff. We're working with a staff now that are very focused on their own jobs. We've got an ideal number of people, and they're doing everything to a very high professional standard. We've got BACO well underway in the organisation for that, going really well. We've got a new website that was launched in March. The new website being much more friendly and easy to use, and much more sensitive to what members will hopefully want out of it, as well as giving benefits to patients as well.
Yeah, no, it does feel like a big change. Tell me a bit about the last few years. I mean, Nirmal obviously is your predecessor, and it seems to me that he had a very busy few years with one thing and another. I mean, we, as a member of ENT UK, we seem to be getting emails almost every day with different guidelines and advice and links into what was going on. How have the last few years been for ENT UK?
Behind the scenes, incredibly busy, but we've tried to keep everything appearing as if it was very smooth. But what it's shown us is what a fantastic team of people we've got to help. No one could have done this on their own. It's been a great team. Nirmal was an absolutely fantastic leader and great at developing the team and infusing people. But the culmination of all of that was the fact that we were voted put in for a national award that was across all associations, nothing to do with just medicine, and we got a gold medal for the best supporting association.
Fantastic.
Which was a huge achievement.
Yeah.
And it brought it back all to reality, and that was all to do with what happened during the crisis of the main COVID wave that hit us, and all the guidance documents and help that we gave. And some of those documents have been used worldwide as well, not just for ENT UK.
Yeah, absolutely. And it felt that we, you know, at all times, I think particularly with nasendoscopy, we were very, at the beginning, everybody was extremely anxious about doing it, but there was some very clear guidance that came from ENT UK, which was extremely welcome in a context where there was very little in the way of clarity that could be offered, but it was very helpful indeed. For speaking as a sort of recipient of it, so to speak. No, it was excellent. I mean, who knows what will happen over the next few years during your presidency? What do you see as the sort of priorities for your time in post?
The priority is really to build on the strengths that we've got that have been developed over the last 3 years, and to keep the team together, and to encourage more people to get involved in the association. I think we've got to be very flexible and adaptable. We've got to really focus on what the members want and make it very apparent as to what they're getting for their fees and their registration fees and things, because there's a bit of a mismatch that's been apparent for a long time and very difficult to solve, but we've got to keep trying. And we've got to try and keep everyone together. The strength of any profession is unity, and not trying to do things as separate subspecialties or organisations. We need something uniting us all.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I was just going to say, I mean, on the subject of the role of ENT UK, it might, for people who are watching this who might not be from the UK, can you just briefly summarise what it is that ENT UK does? What's its role generally?
The general role is to act as an association for all ENT surgeons of all grades. So you're looking after the whole cohort, irrespective of whether they're trainees or senior consultants. We should also try to look after retired members as well. You know, because they're often people who've given a lot of support over the years. We do have a strong leadership role in encouraging the future. So we've got to think in terms of innovation, but also attracting and recruiting people into the specialty. And given the fact that medical students get hardly any exposure to ENT in the whole of their training, we can direct them to ENT UK into the website, and actually let them know what we do. They're often just full of amazement when they realise what we do as ENT surgeons.
One of the great, from my point of view, one of the great things that's happened over the last few years is the development of SFO, the Student and Foundation Otolaryngologists, which is really at a very grassroots level of junior doctors and students, has really encouraged a lot of people through. It's been and having taught on a couple of those, the enthusiasm is brilliant. Yeah,
and it drives you as a teacher to teach more. You know, that's the positive side of it. So it's a positive feedback loop. But in the younger trainees we're getting coming through, who are already committed, we've got some of the brightest people in surgery. You know, it's not unusual now to find people of that age having several publications and a PhD. And we're almost getting the unity of science together with clinical practice, and we can only go from strength to strength. So we're living in very exciting times.
Brilliant. Andrew, on that note, we'll draw it to a close. Thank you very much indeed for chatting to me, and good luck during your presidency. I hope it's not quite as eventful as the last few years have been anyway.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll have lots of events to look back on there. So thank you very much, Stephen.
All right, you're welcome. Nice to talk to you.